one of my favorite sayings. So I'm a fellow at University of California Investments,
Oh,
or
nice.
CIO there.
Congratulations. It's
Thank you.
amazing. Let's
Thank
go.
you. Yeah, it's been some of my most exciting work really to date. But our CIO, Jagdeep Singh Bashir, said, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. And I
Yes.
really had to think about that. But when it comes to college athletes and even high school athletes, I can't think of anybody busier. I
Yeah,
remember
I agree.
I was talking with somebody about my days as 15-year-old where I would practice with the varsity in
Yeah.
the morning as a freshman, and that was from around like 6 a.m. to 8:30
Yeah.
a.m. I would go to class all day until around 4:30, and then I'd practice again with the
Yep.
freshman team from like 5 to 7. And I'm like, I was 15
Yeah.
doing like 14-hour days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like working investment bank hours.
Yes.
Um, Getting to college and having done that for like 5 years straight, it sets a clock in your mind where you have the aptitude and the ability to put in more hours than other folks on campus. And I think college athletes, often we underestimate the amount of discipline and time commitment
Yes.
that we're able to take on and be productive with. I think NIL has been a way to incentivize these athletes to utilize their discipline and time management skills in order not only to better their university or do it for their coach or their school, but be able to do it for themselves and learn how to make money and create better financial health and wellness for their future.
I love NIL. I'm so envious it wasn't around when then again, college baseball is not nearly the level of collegiate football, especially at a school like UCLA, but would have loved to have been able to have that entrepreneurial taste in your mouth as a young person. So you were at UCLA when NIL was announced. So your first year, it was not allowed,
My
or
first 2 years.
first
So
two
I got
years.
to UCLA in 2019. It wasn't until, the summer before my 3rd season.
So how did that transition period happen? So the legislation gets announced. Hey, we're going to allow you to make money off your likeness. This has never been allowed for before. And I actually, to just bring it back 1 second, I saw you have given the shout out before to another Bruin, Ed
Ed
O'Bannon,
O'Bannon.
in the NCAA basketball video game, who had filed a claim about his likeness being used without compensation. And he was really the trendsetter and the first domino to fall into this. And so we've had athletes could get scholarship, room and board, and books. But when you're working, and it might be more than 40 hours a week, it could be 60, 70 hours a week on athletics, doesn't include how much you're studying. You want these kids to have a social life and be able to go out and meet people. There is so much happening right here. How did you be able to transition so quickly and be able to be really the front of the wave for NIL?
I think for me, as far as my positioning with NIL, it's purely because of timing. I think I've gone about NIL in a way that if others replicate it, I think they'll find success. But the way I've gone about NIL isn't the end all be all. And I also understand that mistakes that I made in these first 3 years of NIL, hopefully someone 5 years from now doesn't make any of those mistakes and they do what I did and have an impact tenfold. Really, that's my goal as a Bruin, to pass it on, like pay it forward, push culture forward. That's what we're about as Bruins.
Yes, go Bruins.
Absolutely. As far as me taking advantage of NIL, I think it resulted from a lot of work that I had unknowingly done in the 6 years leading up to it. And what I mean by that, I went to Hutto High School, which is a country town, probably 25 miles northeast of Austin. Their football is king. High school football is king. It is a true Friday Night Lights
I love
experience.
that. It's legendary.
Absolutely. And so the entire town would shut down Friday nights. The mayor would be there. The former mayor, who happened to be the mayor's dad, would be there, and the
I
mayor's
love that.
son would be there.
Oh, I love
So
that.
it was that type of environment where you saw as a literal teenager how what you did during the week to prepare for a game had an effect on the overall morale of tens of thousands of people in your town and had an effect on the pocketbook of the town. Let's face it, people want to move to communities where their child can get an opportunity at the next level, whether
Yep.
it be through school, through engineering program, but in Texas is for sports.
Yes.
And so as Hutto won more games and we became more known for our rowdy home games. And in my junior and senior year, we never lost a home game.
Oh my goodness,
Mm,
amazing.
we had a lot of move-ins, and Hutto, the school district and the town benefited off of that.
Yes.
Seeing that at 15 and 16 and doing a bunch of interviews and radio appearances, it teaches you to think larger than yourself, and it teaches you to think about how you affect your community in either positive or negative ways. Pair that with my experience with brands where I won Gatorade Player of the Year, Ford Player of the Year. I won awards for Whataburger and In-N-Out my senior year.
Nice. I love that.
I had a track record of bringing value to the community around me, and I had a track record of working well with brands. When I got to UCLA, I did everything that I could do to make sure choosing UCLA over Harvard wasn't a dumb decision. So I connected with everyone that I could connect with. I joined all of the extra councils I could join. I represented UCLA to the Pac-12 Council. I represented football to the Bruin Athletic Council. When COVID shut everything down, I represented UCLA to Governor Newsom's returning
Wow.
task force. And I was cataloging all of this. I also got my undergrad in 2.5 years
That's
in
incredible.
public affairs. And then the season before NIL came to fruition, I had the highest passer rating in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So when brands were looking for someone who was succeeding on and off the field, especially on apps like LinkedIn,
Yep.
they couldn't find a better 20-year-old prospect. And I think a lot about my background eased brands sort of shakiness around investing in such a new demographic. And at the same time, my ability to speak on camera and my comfortability working with brands or representing something larger than myself led to me being very effective in early marketing campaigns. And way led on the way, my content got better. I started, professionalizing my setup, doing interviews like this where I see such a beautiful setup. It inspired me to want to do the same. I want all of my content to be the best content that a brand has ever done, regardless if the budget with me is 40,000, a million, 10 million. It doesn't matter. I want it to look better than everybody else's. If you did something with Kevin Hart, I want my brand deal to look better than Kevin Hart's. And that's what I told JP Morgan Chase.
I
Like
love that.
the brands that I work with, I think understand that I take just as much pride in being a very good producer of content as I do of being talent and an ambassador for them.
I love your competitiveness. Your drive comes through in the conversation. It's super authentic.